Hello, community of Waterloo. My name is Chandra Caraway. I'm the pastor's wife of True Church of Waterloo. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and today I want to share with you a devotion about victory. In 2 Kings, we'll find that there was a great famine in the land. People were without food, to the point that mothers were boiling their children. Now, I know that is a hard statement to grasp, but I just want us to truly understand how severe this famine was. And in this passage, there were 4 leprous men. There was 4 men that had a very significant disease, a disease that caused them to have to leave their families, to leave their homes, and to leave their livelihood. And they could not enter into the camp and into their families' homes again. Now, during this time of the famine, there was a camp directly on the side of the Samaritans' camp, and it was called the Syrian camp. And in the Syrian camp, they had plenteous, they had abundance, they had gold and silver and food for everyone. They were not lacking anywhere, just on the other side of this camp. Well, this day, the 4 Samaritans, they decided that they were going to do something. Now, they understood that if they stayed where they were going to die of this famine. But if they went out on a limb and they went to the Syrian people and they just simply asked them, can we have food? Well, they may kill us, but they may give us food. This is a chance that they were willing to take. And that they decided that they were going to go and ask for food. So they go, and the Bible tells us that before they went, when they made that decision, God had sent sounds of chariots, of horses, that made the Syrian people afraid, and it made them fear that the Israelites, that God's people, were coming after them. And so what happened was they fled their camp. They left their gold, they left their silver, they left their food. The Bible tells us that they did not take anything with them. And when these 4 leprous men went into the camp, they had plenteous. They had food, they were eating, they were collecting the silver, and they were collecting the gold. But one thing that I want to draw on is they had another decision to make. They had a decision to make whether they were going to share the victory that they had won that day with their camp. You see, these 4 leprous men, they knew what famine was. They knew what famine had caused them to feel, because every day they would sit at the entering of their camp and they would beg their people for food. And some days they would get some, and some days they would receive none. They would ask for food daily without knowing whether they were going to go to bed that night hungry. So they knew what famine was. And they had a decision that day to share the victory with their people or to hide them for themselves. And what they decided was that they were going to share the victory with their people. And because of that, I believe God gave them even more of an abundance. But how does this apply to us today? Well, maybe some of us, we're in a famine. And I don't mean physical famine, hunger of food. I mean a famine, a spiritual famine. Something in your life that you've never felt before. In this time of uncertainty, I believe that we're feeling things that we've never felt before. This fear, this loneliness, this seclusion has made us have feelings that we're missing something, and that something in our life is lost, and we're hungry. And I believe we're hungry for something more, and that something is God. I believe during this time of the unknown, of time of this pandemic, as everyone is calling it, that we are experiencing a famine, that we're truly beginning to realize that we're missing something in our lives. And I believe if we decide to stand up, just as these 4 leprous men did, they decided to make a stand, that they were going to do everything that they could to receive victory. And when they made that decision, God showed up, and God is the one that gave them victory. They did not have to lay a finger on the Syrian camp. They didn't have to do anything. They didn't have to beg. They didn't have to fight. God simply handed it to them. And I believe if we stand up today and we decide to press for something more than what we've ever looked for before, I believe God is going to show you that you can get victory. What is victory? Victory over fear. Victory over over this discomfort that we're feeling. He's going to give us victory over this famine that we are feeling in our hearts. And He's going to give us the peace that we need, the joy that we need, the comfort that we need. He's going to give us everything that we desire. And the first thing that we must do is we must stand and we must decide that we're going to make something of this famine. We're going to make something of this time, of this pandemic. We're going to search for something, and we're going to find that God is going to give us victory beyond our wildest imagination. God is going to give you something that you've never experienced before. He's going to give you something that you're not going to keep within yourself, but you're going to give other people, and you're going to share it with other people. And that's what we want to do today. We want to share with you the victory that God has given us. There's been times in our life that we were struggling in our situations, and we had a famine in our heart, and we were longing for something more. And when we got a hold of God and when we began to develop a relationship with God, He gave us things that we've never felt before. And we want to share that with you, with this community, and with your families. We want to show you that God can give you victory. God can give you victory over everything you're facing today. If you feel that something that we've said today has sparked an emotion in you, and you don't know how or what you're searching for, but you know that there's a famine inside your heart, please reach out to us. Please connect with us. We would love to share our story, our testimonies, what God has done for us, what He gave us victory over. You know, that word can be a little confusing. Maybe today you don't understand completely what victory means, but please reach out to us. We would love to share our story with you. We would love to connect with you. You can find all of our information at truthchurchwaterloo.com. God bless you. We hope that you are enjoying our devotions, and we hope that you're having a wonderful day. God bless.